Oh, hello, everybody. Hello. Happy Wednesday. I keep forgetting that today is Wednesday.
Right, yeah, we had to film today, so both of us are on like Tuesday, because that's usually when we film is Tuesday.
Right,
So we're both in Tuesday mode.
right. I had to remind myself many times this afternoon and this morning. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. I have to stream in the afternoon, but then also go film Nostalgia Critic, and also
And
don't
then
forget
come
to do
right
a stream
back.
at the night. Like, whew. It's been a ride of a Wednesday, but it is indeed Wednesday, my dudes. Welcome everyone to Chatting with Doug. This guy right here. I saw someone. I'll go ahead and say it. I saw someone before the stream even started on YouTube chat say, "The Nostalgia Critic, my beloved." So this is Doug,
Darling.
your beloved. um,
Notice the way I did the heart, and that's how it's done. Just for anyone that might not be human out there.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Let's go over the rules here so that we can get to some of your questions that you have to ask Doug here. First and foremost, we give priority to the bit messages and super chats, since that is some real world money spent. I'm gonna say this. I haven't said this before, but I feel more and more people asking these questions. We are dual streaming at the moment on Twitch and YouTube, so that's why sometimes people are like, "Well, what is a super chat?" Or some people are like, "What's a bit?" Bits are from Twitch, super chats
pretty
are
funny.
from YouTube. But yeah, we are dual streaming on both platforms in this moment. And I do ask the questions because I've also seen more people complaining about that. I do ask the questions just in the order that they come. I'm not mixing up, like I'm not favoring Twitch or I'm not favoring YouTube. I'm just asking them in the order that they're coming in. All right, that's all I'm doing. So we give priority to bit messages and super chats, since those are real world money spent. Towards the end of the stream, sometimes we have time for highlighted questions over on Twitch or regular chat questions over on YouTube. But save some of that for the end of stream, because right now we're not going to be able to scroll back up and see it or do that then. Please not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do that. With bit messages and super chats, there is no need to repeat them. We have a list here and we get behind on it. Obviously, we've been live for almost 10 minutes now, or over 10 minutes now, and haven't even started asking the questions yet. Even if it unpins from the top of the YouTube chat, you don't need to repeat it. You're not going to get in trouble. I just feel bad if you spend $5 more or whatever more dollars to ask the same question. When we have it in the queue, we'll get to it. Just please have some patience. Sometimes we can get up to over an hour behind, so just have some patience. We will get to it. On the YouTube side of things, we prioritize super chats that are $5 and over. We appreciate anything, but we do have such a large volume of questions that comes in that we have to prioritize those $5 and over, because we do want to actually get to the non-paid questions. I promise you, we want that, and the best way to do that is to prioritize those questions and make them just a little bit more expensive, I guess. I don't even know. That was a bad way to put it, but just to help with the volume of questions that we have incoming. Please, no spoilers. Not everyone has had a chance to see the latest and greatest movies or shows out there. So no spoilers. Please keep your messages short and to the point. The longer it is, the faster it is I have to read it, the less likely we are to understand the point, and we do not have time to repeat it. So short and to the point is better. Think like 1, 2, maybe 3 sentences. Along those same lines, if you absolutely have to break up your question or comment into multiple parts, keep it to 3 absolute maximum. Again, we tend to lose the point and we don't have time to go back and figure out how chat 7 connects to chat 2. So just 3 absolute maximum if it's absolutely necessary. Doug, no swearing. I feel like that's it.
I think we got it.
All right, great, fantastic. Well then, Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What did you think of the most recent Christmas episode of Bob's Burgers, the one involving a puppy getting fed chocolate by mistake?
I thought it was fine, but I didn't like it. I don't like it's a very silly reason why. I just don't like seeing puppies in peril. Um,
Oh.
and no, but it's not something like the dogs. Like it's in a situation like a giant, I don't know, on a conveyor belt. It's gonna get chopped up. Something crazy like that. It's that one of the characters accidentally gives him chocolate, and the puppy runs off, and they try to find him before it affects him, before it does some really bad stuff to him. And I'm like, that just feels too real. That's not fun to me. The episode's fine, but it's like, yeah, that was just a little too. I didn't like watching that, but that's just a personal preference. Like I said, the episode itself is totally fine.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hi, Heather. You said before your favorite family Christmas film is Muppet Christmas Carol because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy. Don't you think you should have said warm and fuzzy? Lol. Merry Christmas, you guys. No,
Back at you.
I said what I said. I didn't mean a pun, okay? No, I'm just kidding.
I think that whole movie was made just so they can make the pun Fozziewig, because that is one of the great puns of all time.
Alex the Animator, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey there, Doug. Why wasn't Malcolm in last week's NC review of The Trap? And how come you haven't kept in touch with your old friend Bargo after he left Channel Awesome 13 years ago? There was a... Sorry, no, go ahead. There you go.
Well, here, with Malcolm, he couldn't make it that way. I mean, but we literally just shot with him today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you'll see him again. Bargo I actually bumped into last year. And we both looked very different, but we literally walked by each other, just a complete chance encounter. And we just turned around and we just started talking about what we were up to and stuff like that. And it was nice. It was a nice little, it was an unintentional meetup, but it was nice. We just walked around and chatted, and it was pretty cool, actually.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. In honor of David Lynch, what is it about his work that you love, and which film do you think best represents him as an artist? Personally, I love The Straight Story most, but the more definitive Lynch film, in my opinion, are Eraserhead, Fire Walk With Me, and Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, probably Eraserhead is my personal favorite. When you think about the fact you spend 1/3 of your life asleep, and every story we tell is about being awake, I think it's really cool. There's someone that's like, well, let's tell a movie that kind of works like a dream. Sometimes there's a 3-act structure, sometimes there isn't, sometimes there's a story, sometimes there isn't, but you just feel like you're in that dream and you're processing things. You really feel like you're processing emotions. I talk about emotional storytelling. To some extent, you could argue his was the most extreme of that, because it doesn't even have a story half the time. It is just pure emotion and mood and atmosphere, and just whatever your emotions are afraid of seeing or want to process or don't want to process, like he kind of brings that to you, and you're not even sure exactly what it's trying to say or do, like a dream is, but you just recognize those feelings, and you recognize those places and uncomfortable feelings, and sometimes even good feelings, hopeful feelings that you've been to before. Even if you can't explain where, how, or why, like I said, that's kind of what the dream part of your brain does. So yeah, he was very, very good at tapping into that.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the film version of The Sunshine Boys starring Walter Matthau and George Burns?
I don't know if I've seen that. Sunshine Boys. I've never seen this, so I'll try to check it out.
Adam, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who is your favorite character in Creature Commandos?
Probably the monster. I just love the way he was both very articulate, but like a 2-year-old at the same time. And his motivation was so simple, but also very complex. I don't know. He was such a mix of two very, very different things, just being very, very smart and so dumb and so childish and, very intelligent about getting what he wants, and then just so idiotic about it too. He was fascinating. I know you're not supposed to like him, and he was very fun not to like, if that makes sense.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Smallville Season 6 has started on Talkville.
Cool.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. Now that your favorite movie of all time is turning 40 this year, does that mean you'll finally give it the full NC treatment? And since it's technically a Christmas movie, could you please make it the last review of December?
It is a Christmas movie. That's true. Man, that would give me a good example. Because like usually the reviews I do like right before Christmas time, like do no views. So maybe man, it'd just be so much to talk about though. That is the only thing. I mean, I just won't be able to shut up about it. There might be an idea there. Let me look into that. So it's funny. I think it came out in Britain in '84. And so technically you could argue last year was its 40th anniversary, but I think in America it was '85. So yeah, it might be something there. Yeah, I'll look into that. Might be an idea there.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. You doubted the existence of a Mickey's Christmas Carol vinyl with more songs, Goofy sings, and Merlin replacing Jiminy as Christmas past. Well, I searched the internet for half an hour and found the answer. To be continued.
I will just get a head start. I looked this up too. I did find it. So spoilers, it is real, and it was fascinating to see.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. When is your birthday? And as a present, would you like 2 CDs?
What, just 2 CDs? 2 whole CDs? Holy smokes, yes! November 17th, 81.
Dave's Dragon, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug. On your Pink Floyd The Wall album, I noticed there wasn't a parody of What Shall We Do Now?
Well, gee, we better go back and redo it. I mean, just all the complaints we got, that was the biggest. So yeah, we'll go back and redo it.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good evening, all. Doug, would you possibly do in the future an NC on the 1998 film Madeline, starring Frances McDermott?
Was that 90? For some reason I thought it was early 2000s. I guess not. I've never seen, I don't know the books that well or cartoon or anything. So it's not jumping out at me, but I don't know. I guess maybe there's enough demand for it, but yeah, nothing. I don't have much familiarity with the subject matter, so probably not. Not the source material, I should say.
Trip Corey, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any plans to do a Hilda video? Also, which pre-2018 Channel Awesome member do you miss the most?
I'm trying to think what one was just cool. I mean, they all had great moments of working with. I don't know. I gotta like go back. Because so much stuff is. There's just so many videos that we did. I'll say this: one of the hardest workers was probably Joe Vargas, because anytime something went wrong or we needed to go back or reshoot, I mean, he never complained. He was always like, yeah, no, I get it. Let's go here. I mean, there's one shot in the Batman v Superman episode where I missed one shot. He was out of it, the Superman outfit. I'm like, I'm so sorry. We need just one shot of you standing there doing nothing, just looking at me. He's like, oh yeah, no. Again, that not everybody has that reaction. And in terms of Hilda review, probably not, but I remember liking it. I remember being a good show.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. So I finally finished Breaking Bad, and while I think it's a very good show, I can't say I loved it quite as much as most people. However, I loved the characters Gus, Mike, and Saul. Would you recommend someone like me to check out Better Call Saul, or is it too similar to Breaking Bad?
Better Call Saul is nothing but Mike, Gus, and Saul. And I'm the same as you. Even though I acknowledge they're very well put together character, I didn't like watching those characters. I didn't find them. They are interesting, but I didn't find them entertaining to watch. They were just a little too unpleasant for me, but I loved those three, and Better Call Saul is nothing but those three. So I got into that show a lot more, even though it is slower. Keep that in mind. There's not as much action and violence in there, but yeah, that was the show I got more into. So yes, I would definitely recommend that.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I'm on season 5.
Good to know.
Good luck. Jamie, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you listen to the deleted villain song Biggering soundtrack from the Lorax? This is an amazing villain song I think you will absolutely love.
Yes, I see why they cut it, because it was very close to How Bad Can I Be? So I got it. Even though but the rest of the movie is so bad anyway, it's like, why not leave it in? Like the other really good song in there. But yeah, no, we were talking about The Wall earlier. It did remind me a lot of The Wall, and I loved it because of that. And I think if you are going to go this direction that where most of it's not going to work in the Lorax anyway, why not do something that's just so freaking cool and so awesome and has just a great music and everything. So yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, I think it has like over 1 million views actually on YouTube, and everyone's saying the same thing. Like, why wasn't this in there? Holy, like easily the best song, and I tend to agree.
Invader Zim, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, what's your opinion on Book Snape if you've read the books? Oh, I have read the books. I mean, he's interesting. He's good. Obviously, with books, you have a little bit more time to develop a character than you do with a movie. Although I will say, in general, Snape's a little kind of creepy, I guess. Like, I want to like him, but he's a little weird about Lily Potter. You know what I mean?
Okay, so this is Harry Potter. Okay, I was
Yes.
gonna say like Snape, like Harry Potter. Okay, isn't he supposed to be creepy, or is this a different Snape?
Like, yeah, no, I mean, like, he's a little obsessive about Harry's mom when it's
Okay.
okay, dude, you went to school together. She married someone else. It's okay. No, but he is a pretty good character. I did like the character when I was reading the books. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, have you finished Vox Machina Season 3? And if you have, what did you think? I enjoyed it. I knew the second that, okay, I don't want to give spoilers in case anyone is still watching through it. When there was a couple episodes left and it seemed like the big bad had been vanquished, I was like, I think I know where this is going. And I did know where it was going, but it was still good. Like, I liked what they did with, like, Keyleth and Rayshawn. I liked what they did with Percy. That was really interesting, what they did with Percy at the end of the season. I did not see that coming. That's the part of it I did not see coming. So I was glad to see what they did with Percy at the end of the season as well, but I don't want to get too into spoilers, but it was good. I enjoyed it. It ended up being a good finale. Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Have any of the Yu-Gi-Oh movies ever been requested for an NC? I know that you're not an expert on the franchise, Doug, but this series can be so laughably cheesy yet surprisingly epic that I'm sure a lot of people would love to see your reaction.
Well, one, animes are already tricky to do on YouTube because Japan's copyright is very different, and they'll throw claims our way even faster than ones in America do. But also, yeah, I really don't know much about it, and it just takes so much time to get through a show. And I know if I'm going to talk about that, I really need to have an understanding of the show and see a bunch of it and everything. So yeah, it's both we probably get claimed for it, and I just don't have time to watch all the shows.
CC, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's you and your wife's meet cute story? I'm curious how you met and all the mushy love stuff. Heather, can you answer too in honor of Valentine's Day coming up?
Well, in a month it's coming up, but still, yeah, sure. I mean, mine's kind of straight, but we just met at a New Year's party. No, we just started talking and got along really well. The one thing I remember, because I'm very oblivious to when a woman comes on to me, and I remember I could, because we kind of talk, and then, we sort of go chat with other people. We didn't want to be like kind of weird around each other, and I remember we're kind of dancing, and she was kind of dancing a little closer, but not like too obvious, like just obvious enough for me to pick up. Okay, I think she wants to be closer to me, and I'm okay with it. It wasn't like an awkward thing where someone's just dancing and going, like this, like making it really weird. Like she was really trying to look somewhere else. Like, yeah, I'm just sort of dancing this general area. I'm not getting close to you, but I just happened to be here. Like she played it pretty cool. Yeah, we just kept every time we go talk to someone else at some point during the party, we just hook back together and just start talking to one another because it's like, no, this was the most interesting person I was talking to.
My husband Lucas and I are not sappy people, but our story is too sappy. We've known each other since I was in third grade. Our families were like best friends. We grew up together, but never actually got together until college. I was one of his first crushes ever when we were like in middle school.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So our families have just known each other forever, and I've known him forever. And then, I don't know, there was just like a flip that switched when we were finally single at the same time, and I was in college, and it was like, oh, wait, it's been you all along, hasn't it?
It's cool when that works, because you're right. You do hear those stories a lot, and they do happen. They just don't always last, because it's like, well, yeah, they're young, puppy love, high school love, all that, but it's so cool when they grow up together. It's like, no, like they really do have a good connection. Like that's when that does work, that is just the most emotional, sappy, wonderful. I don't know. It's pretty great.
It's disgusting. No. Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, how far are you into The Chosen? And are you still enjoying it?
Oh, I gotta get back to that. My wife discovered Yellow Jackets, so that's the
Ah.
show we're watching now. It is a good show. And then we also discovered a show. Oh man, has I they just dropped it on Netflix, and it is so funny so far. It's called Girls Five Eva. It's a parody of the Spice Girls getting like a reunion like years later, and it's the people that did give me Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and it is so funny. So we're on those two shows right now, but we do have The Chosen still on Prime, and we're like, yeah, we should probably get back to that. We definitely needed a break for a bit. We just felt like we were going to church every time we saw it, but in a good way, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
ooh, like a cool kind of church. But yeah, we're like, we need a break, but it's like, yeah, we can probably get back into it.
Majestic Demon, thank you for the 500 bits. Good evening, the Dunisher. How are you and our wonderful Twitch queen?
Good. Thank you so much.
Elite Gamer, thank you for the 29-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that. Greetings, Dougnisher and Heather. I hope you both are well. Fun fact, Doug, in The Punisher, the goon played by Kevin Nash, wrestler, actually got stabbed with a knife. They messed up the
Ooh.
props. Also, from your trap review, is Chester
Oh, no.
still in the basement? Thanks for all you do. I can't wait to meet for you to meet a certain character in Arkham Knight.
Oh, cool. It depends whatever the next review needs. That's where we'll see Chester and or Doe. And that sucks about the stabbing of the hand. That really, really sucks.
Trip Corey, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you ever get a chance to see Roadhouse? I really think you'd like it. Lots of stupid fun.
No, I know that's like a classic. There's some 80s awareness movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen Roadhouse. I haven't seen Warriors. That was another one on the list I wanted to get to, and I just didn't have a chance. So there's a couple I definitely want to get around to.
Isaac, thank you for the $5 super chat. I noticed you don't seem to talk about Black Critic Guy very much or have him for an episode. Is it because of his video when he defended cuties?
You know, we saw this question earlier, and I love. First of all, I was making sure it wasn't Black Critic you were talking about, and it's not. And I just don't know who this guy is. I'm so sorry. So yeah, maybe I'll try to look him up some more. But yeah, I looked him up. I'm like, I don't know who this person is. I'm sorry.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't know if you really like keeping up with the Oscars, but do you have a favorite Best Picture winner?
Uh, I'd have to look at them. Yeah, I'd have to go through a list. All the ones I'm thinking of, I'm like, no, that was nominated. No, that was nominated. No, it's like, yeah, I'd have to like really, really see what would stand out to me. But yeah, I don't know. I gotta look them up.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. Everything about it is real. Here, the Walt Disney Players Charles Dickens, an adaptation of Dickens' Christmas Carol. You're welcome, and Merry Christmas to you both.
Yeah, I did. Somebody brought that up before. Well, because last I heard it was somebody was saying it was like an alternate version that they animated. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And as far as I know, it wasn't that. It was this version they made for, this little vinyl record. Those little ones they used to give to kids. We used to have them, and they had songs in there and everything. And yeah, it was very neat to see. It was neat to see like this alternate version of what could have been. I have no doubt it was written that way at some point, but clearly when they started animating, or at least coloring, they switched around to the version we have today.
Noah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, clue for next week's NC, please.
What is it? It is a Matthew Broderick movie where I actually liked his performance, and I didn't think I would. I was actually really, really surprised by it.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Are either of you fans of Chainsaw Man or have any interest in it? I think its ability to just have fun with the artwork, pay homage to various movies, and be surprisingly thoughtful and dark character study while still being aware of how silly the concept is makes for a really interesting series. It is on my short list for animes to watch.
Everyone has said it's really, really great. I haven't had a chance to, sadly, but yeah, from what everyone describes, it sounds like something that'd be up my alley.
Augusto, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug. Would you ever do a Nostalgia Critic on the 1941 Dumbo? I'd love to hear more of your thoughts.
Maybe. Actually, I'm shocked Brad hasn't done that yet. Brad Jones, because he
That's
loves
true.
that movie. Um, might be a fun crossover, actually. Let me write that down. That'd be kind of a fun idea. I'll look into it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I had some old digital copies that I still had of the show before the ones I got with the code stopped working. That's unfortunate.
Hmm.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Possible Disney December of Jungle Cubs in the future. Basically, the Jungle Book characters as kids. It's only 2 seasons.
I I have no interest. B, I don't know who's gonna click on that. Well, actually, maybe because I think it's an older show, so maybe there is an audience that grew up with it. But I just have no interest. It looks like a show that's meant for like little kids, and yeah, I like Jungle Book, but I don't know how. I don't think I like it that much.
At movies, thank you for the 500 bits. I can't remember if I already said this, but you should definitely check out the 1990 French version of 1001 Nights. If you're looking for a 90 minutes of bonker weirdness and you want to see 20-year-old Zita Jones in her very first role, it's available to watch free on YouTube.
Oh, never even heard of it. All right, try to check it out.
John, thank you for the $20 super chat. Really
Thank
appreciate that.
you.
Thank you. Since Captain America Brave New World is coming up, and I was wondering, who was your favorite live action portrayal of Hulk? Lou Ferrigno, Eric Bana, Edward Norton, or Mark Ruffalo? Mine is Edward Norton.
Mine too. Not like by a long shot. He didn't like blow the others out of the water, but I just like Edward Norton as an actor. I think he has a great talent of just making almost any role interesting. And it's always funny that he can play the tough guy so well because I mean he's got a little baby face, he's got a nasally voice and everything. I mean, you would just think this guy wouldn't be able to pull that off, and he does like almost every time. So yeah, I dug it. I like when somebody does a Jekyll and Hyde story and Jekyll is not a wimp because that's always what they do. They play Jekyll way too. What's going on? Oh no, I'm transferred. Like to compensate, be like, wow, what a great actor. He can play these two different parts. But I think it's so much more interesting if Jekyll's like a smart, strong person, like an interesting person. And Norton's pretty good at playing those roles.
Case, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, I got the perfect movie for Nostalgia Ween, the original 1977 The Hills Have Eyes. It has some great humor and quirky dialogue that you might enjoy.
I still haven't seen that movie. That's another one I know is a classic, but I haven't had a chance to check it out. I'll get around to it at some point.
Deb the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. Besides Superman, Spider-Man, and Batman, who would you say are some of your other favorite superheroes?
Man, X-Men, big time. I mean, man, if we're talking about like just superheroes and not comic books, man, you could point to like Samus is a cool character. I'm just looking around the room to see all the other gargoyles are great superheroes. Yeah, actually, a lot of them are Batman, X-Men, and stuff, aren't they? The more I look at them, but those are good. I think those are good. Wonder Woman's pretty good too.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. Did you ever get a chance to watch more of Rise of the TMNT? Personally, I think it has my favorite incarnations of the characters and has the right kind of comedy for something as absurd sounding as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, I haven't. I have heard it gets not only does it get good, but the big finale movie they have is supposed to be really, really good. But I sadly haven't had a chance to. I'm sorry.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the new Hell of a Boss episode?
I think so. Was it was the last one of the season, right? Hold on, let's see. Hell of a Boss. Let me make sure it wasn't a new episode that dropped. Oh, but don't need that. Yes, I did. I really liked it. The only issue I had, it's a real nitpick. The episode before it was so good. I thought that would have been a better finale. I thought this one would have been a better starting episode to the next season. With the exception of one thing that they have at the very end. That's a good little. Oh, what are they gonna do about that? With a certain character. But yeah, I still it was still really, really good and really cool. If you've seen the episode. But yeah, no, it was good.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. And I don't know if I remember the context of this in a review. When Prince John said he loved 69ing in Robin Hood review, did you mean to sound like Martin Short when he played Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland, 1999?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay, I do. I do kind of remember. No, I wasn't intending for that, but I'll take it.
Lamp Crow, thank you for the $5 super chat. Why do you always sound bummed when you have to do a vlog instead of a untitled review show? I like how laid back vlogs are. It's like hanging out with a friend.
I've heard that before. There's a part of me that feels like I love this job so much, and I love that you all watch and everything, that I feel like I'm not deserving of it. Like, I need to put in more work. I need to do more stuff. I need to blah, blah, blah. So I just turn the camera on and I give my thoughts. I feel like, okay, well, I'm taking the easy way out kind of thing. But, again, with like the time restraints and again, the fatigue and stuff like that, I do tell myself, no, it's okay. There's always a weird part of me that feels lazy, and I don't know why. Everyone has told me I'm not. I put in a lot of work and everything, and deep down, I feel like I know that, but there's just I just love this job so much. I feel like I'm never putting in enough. I feel like, no, I should put in more. I should put in more. So, I shouldn't hit the mic. See, that's how terrible I am. But, yeah, so there is always an element that like it feels like I'm being lazy and I don't want to, even though I know that's not the case. But I don't know, something deep rooted inside of me that always feels like I'm being lazy, even though I know I work really hard. It's something like, I don't know. I don't know if that's a detailed answer. Maybe it's too much detail, but that's the best way I can answer it.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Ever heard of a YouTuber called Glad and Gladiator?
Glad and Gladiator? No. I'll try to look him up.
Amanda B. Cohen, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, I've been a fan of yours since I was in middle school, and you've shaped my sense of humor, inspired me to become a content creator. What advice would you give to a newbie trying to make a name for themselves?
Well, I tell this to everyone. It sounds so obvious, but a lot of people don't follow it. Do it because you love it, because a lot is rigged against you. I'm not going to lie. We got into this when there weren't many doing that. Nobody was even doing it as a living when we started out. So I was doing it just because it was fun. And you want to do it for that reason, because if you make it, great, you'll be all the more thankful and humble about it and everything. But if you don't make it, you'll be able to look back and say, I would still do that even if 2 people watched it, because this is what I enjoy. Because we have seen people that have not made it and are miserable, and then they made it and they're still miserable, like that, because they were doing it for the wrong reasons. So definitely do it because of that. Outside of that, just try to take yourself out of the equation and look at your videos and the title card and the title and everything, and just be really honest and be like, would I click on this if I was looking through YouTube and stuff? But yeah, again, the algorithm, the setup, everybody wants this job now and stuff. There's a lot working against you. So if it doesn't go anywhere, don't be like, well, it's your fault, stupid me, or whatever. It's like, no, there's a lot working against you. But if it does go somewhere, man, you'll be all the more thankful. And it really is a great job to have if you are doing it for those reasons, if you're doing it because it legit brings you joy. And if it doesn't become a job, you'll still be all the more thankful, because, man, it's pretty cool. You're allowed to do any of this and get an audience from it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, do you think Superman would win in a fight against Frieza? Yes. Superman would win that fight. Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. I heard since you like Charlie Kaufman, I wondered if you saw the film he wrote last year titled Orion and the Dark, and his other film. I'm thinking of Ending Things. I absolutely love both of these films, and I think they're underrated.
Did I see? I'm thinking of Ending Things. I don't know if I saw one. Thinking of... Because if there's one I haven't seen, I'd be like, oh, I gotta see that. Sorry, I typed that in, and the first thing to pop up is a helpline.
Oh, no! You gotta put movie at the end of that, Doug. You gotta put movie at the end of that search. Doug!
Oh, that's right. Oh, yes. Oh, I've definitely seen this. I like that film a lot. I forgot it was called that. But no, I really, really like it. It's a little long, but that's the only thing. I really, really enjoyed it. The Orion one, I didn't get all the way through it, and I should. I wasn't hating it, but I wasn't really getting into it, especially for a Kaufman fantasy. I really thought there'd be some more original stuff to it. The little narrative change halfway through was very interesting. That's the one thing that makes me want to finish it up. I want to be like, okay, where were they going with that? But yeah, it was surprisingly kind of dull for me, and I love the idea. Yeah, I was just playing it a little too common, a little too safe. But again, maybe I need to see the whole thing. Maybe I'll get to the end and be like, holy smokes, that's this was brilliant, because sometimes his films can do that.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. I heard you mention that Psylocke was one of your favorite X-Men characters. What do you find appealing about her as a character?
I mean, she looks cool. The power's cool. And at least when I was reading her in the comics, she's a little bit of a bad girl. She was always kind of flirting with Cyclops, even though she knew he was with Jean. And you could kind of tell she was half serious about it and half not. And she's like, I don't know. There's a weird power dynamic that was kind of cool. She's like, I'm just seeing what I can kind of get away with here. Like, you could tell she'd be happy either way if she got him or didn't get him. She just kind of liked the chase of it, and I thought that was pretty cool. But at the same time, she could turn around and just be like dead serious, like on a flip of a dime. So yeah, I wanted to see her more in a lot of X-Men media. I always felt bad she didn't get that much attention.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, what are some films that have made you ugly cry? Goodness, so many. I am an easy crier.
Sometimes she yells at me for not crying during like watching a video game.
We would do like video games, and I would be like, I was sobbing, and I'm sobbing right now. When Doug's like, yeah, I guess it's sad. No, I'm an easy cry. Grave of the Firefly is your name. I mean, hell, I was even ugly crying during Defying Gravity when I saw Wicked. I was like, this is so good. This is, oh my God, I can't believe I'm watching this. Like, I'm an easy cry.
I gotta make you ugly cry. It's because that just the way you were doing it sounded like, like that sounded pretty funny.
Invader Zip, thank you for the 500 bits. And the Hotel Transylvania sequels, despite being a wife and mother, she still sounds and acts like an 18-year-old. It's distracting.
What, Mavis, I'm assuming they're talking about? No, I mean, she can be a young wife and mother. I think it's okay. I didn't think so in the second one. I think there's definitely, when she finds out, what's happening with her kid, I mean, just the way she marches back, I mean, right away. And the way she shows her father that she knows what was going on and everything. I mean, I think that's pretty grown up. I don't know. I know a lot of mothers who would react that way. So I thought she's fine. The fact she still looks very young, maybe that's what you're thinking of. But and that's a comedy. You still have to have over the top reactions. But I don't know. I thought she was fine.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you think you would have still loved Bob's Burgers if they stuck with the original plan to make the Belchers a family of cannibals who made burgers out of human flesh?
Boy, that's a choice. I would just have to see how they do it. It's not jumping out to me as something that's like, oh yeah, that's what this show should be. But I also don't know the original intent or the original plan. So maybe it would work. Either way, I'm glad we got the version we have now.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. I said it before, but I'd pay you to Darktune Mickey's Garden 1935. From chemically induced hallucinations on screen, drinking inebriation, and threats of violence or eaten by bugs, this cartoon is traumatizing.
I've gotten a few requests for it. I don't know. It's not that I don't see where they're coming from. I guess I don't have. I feel like I'd have to read deeper into it than like I normally do to see like what would be like traumatizing with it. I get the feeling if I was a little kid, maybe I'd agree with you. I probably find it a little scary, but as an adult, I'm just not really seeing like too much I can read into it or have fun with. Also, I just haven't done Darktoons in I think literally years now, so it's been a hot minute.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the season 2 finale of Tangled, do you remember the song Eugene sings, Everything I Ever Thought I Knew? If you do, what do you think of it?
Oh, I thought it was great. Most of the songs in that show are very, very well done. Yeah, and I know I bring it up all the time, but I can't wait for you to see it, Heather.
I know,
like
I
that. That and Steven Universe are the two shows where I'm just like, I can't wait for you to see these. Two shows. I mean, not just for the story and animation characters, all that, but I mean, just the music. I think you will just fall in love with the music of these shows.
I'm sure I will. Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. Have either of you seen the trailer for the new A24 movie, Death of a Unicorn? It has the concept of a social satire that could easily backfire if not handled well, but the trailer looks like a fun mix between Everything Everywhere All at Once and Knives Out.
Yeah, I agree. I saw it and I said, man, this can backfire so easily. But it does have good people, and it was making me laugh. So I'm hoping that's a good sign. But I agree. I was just looking at like, oh man, it's so easy to see it not working, but the actors are very, very funny, and the setup is kind of unique. So, yeah, I'm hopeful.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, I'm now on season 6 of Dragon Ball Z. The Cell games are almost here. Which anime bad boy would you think you could fix? Vegeta or Seto Kaiba? I love that. I love that someone wrote that question for me. I'm gonna choose Seto Kaiba. Because I do believe there is some goodness in him, and then also once I do fix him and we get together, he's hella rich. So we'll go with Kaiba.
Good thinking.
Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. Depending on how you answer this question, have you seen Red 1? I want to know your opinion on the film if you've seen it before I ask the next question.
No. I think I have that on the list. That was one of those where I'm like, boy, that'd be a good one to do next year. This year, I should say, for Christmas. So, I think it's on the list, but let me write it down just in case.
Liv J. Brown, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you don't like the humans in Sonic, but does that include Agent Stone? And if so, for shame! JK, kind of not really.
Agent Stone is the he's the guy that like gets the coffee and everything, right? Hold on, I see Sonic. Yeah, I guess he wasn't bad in the first, but he does get better. He actually what they do with him in the third one, I thought was very, very enjoyable. Yeah, he might have always been good, actually. That might be like the one human character in the first movie. I mean, but you know that archetype. You've seen that, the helper that never gets the attention and never gets a thank you and stuff like that. I mean, you've just seen it to death, but the way they keep utilizing him in the movies, yeah, like maybe when you know where it's all going to go and everything, maybe he was always good. Maybe that was the one character I was like, all right.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Are either of you guys Hitchcock fans? I know a lot of people consider him one of the greatest directors, and even though I like his movies, I think Psycho is the only one that I love.
Oh yeah, loves Hitchcock. I'm definitely not an expert. I haven't seen all of them, but I've seen. I mean, maybe like 10 or 12, something like that. I'm not sure how many films he's done, but yeah, a lot of the big ones, a lot of the classics, and yeah, no, the big. I mean, you can't study film without studying Hitchcock. I mean, it's really impossible. So yeah, definitely really, really enjoy his stuff.
Superdroid, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. What's your opinion on E.T. the Extraterrestrial? It's my favorite Spielberg movie and one of my favorite movies of all time next to Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think John Williams' score elevated a decent family film into a genuine great movie for me, plus the performances from the children were among the best child performances I've ever seen. Almost ran out of breath there.
Both Rob and I have the same thought. It is a very good film. We're not saying it's not. For some reason, it does not connect with us.
Wild. I adored E.T. I watched it until my VHS broke.
and we should, because it has all the things we usually like. I have a theory. I think part of it is we grew up with all the parodies and all the spin-offs of that idea of hiding a supernatural, of a kid hiding a supernatural something because the evil bad scientists are coming to take him away and study him and everything. And I think we were so used to that story. I mean, everything, Saturday morning cartoons, other movies, after school specials, that when we got to that movie, we knew beat for beat what was going to happen. And I think that sucked out some of what was special about it. But everything you say is 100% correct. The kid actors are wonderful. It does have a dark edge to it. I mean, there's some scenes in there are just like, wow, like really, really harsh. And it has a great heart to it as well. So it is very, very good. I think that's the reason it never quite grabbed us like it did everyone else, though. I think we saw too many spin-offs before we got to the real thing.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite joke in Life of Brian?
Oh, man. I think just the first two major ones. The first, them getting the wrong baby. I think that's a great start, just to already show the misunderstandings that can happen. And then I just adore when, after the credits, there's Jesus talking, saying the great word and everything. And all the people all the way in the back are having trouble. What is that? I think he said, blessed are the cheesemakers. And it's, well, why cheesemaker? Oh, clearly it's the make of any dairy product. I mean, those that put in that hard work, I mean, clearly they should be driven. They're already, even though they're right there, they're misinterpreting what he's saying, and that is so brilliant. I really like that movie. They said very clearly it's not a satire of Jesus or his teachings. It's a satire of the different interpretations of it and how people can use it for wrongdoing. Yeah, I those first two, I mean, that is just so smart and just so clever.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, how would you rank these Bill Murray roles? Lost in Translation, Ghostbusters, Groundhog Day, Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou?
I can never say the name either. Probably Lost in Translation, Groundhog Day, Ghostbusters, and then Life Aquatic.
Dante, thank you for that 58-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back.
Thank
Appreciate it. Doug, are there any plans on having your wife show up on a Nostalgia Critic?
She kind of has. Anytime I need someone to hurt me or slap me or something like that, she always volunteers. So like in a video, if you see like a hand just slap me or something, that's usually her. Once in a while, she'll have like a little voice somewhere. She'll just suddenly be like, I want to be inside. I mean, she never does. So whenever she's like, I want to be in something, like, all right. So I'll just, a little voiceover or something. And then she immediately becomes self-conscious about it. So, no, it's not something she does. She's not looking to act or anything like that. But every once in a while, she'll get like a hint of a bug in there, a little acting bug. And just be like, oh, she was the voice of, I don't even know if you can see these now, but in Ask That Guy, we did an episode where I marry a GPS, and she's the voice of the GPS. So she's made her way into 1 or 2 episodes.
Gamer Wolf, thank you for the $5 super chat. Any plans for this year's Batman since Batman the Animated Series is done?
No.
No.
Well, but, I mean, first of all, you'd have to ask Walter. Yeah.
Yeah, Walter does have another theme month coming up later in the middle of the year. So be on the lookout for that, because Walter is the grand architect of Batman and Twilight Tober Zone, and he does great work. So be on the lookout for that.
He's got another one planned. It's not connected to Batman or Twilight Zone. It's a completely new idea, and it sounds interesting. I'm really cool. I'm excited to see what he does with it.
Which Twitch is Twitch. Thank you for that 7-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that. Hey, Doug, I was wondering if you had heard about the honey scandal that came to light about a month ago.
Yeah. A lot. I think there's a follow-up question, so I'm wondering if I should go more into it.
Well,
but
they wrote a whole paragraph summarizing the situation,
gotcha.
And I figured I know you know the situation, so I didn't read the paragraph.
We're not going to the lawsuit. Well, because we didn't have the setup before where if they use our code, we get like a cut or anything like that. So there's kind of no point anyway. But yeah, I know technically, I guess we could because we did a sponsorship with them at all. But it's like the amount of time and money that would go into it and stuff. And we weren't really that. We still got paid. Well, we were supposed to get paid. So I mean, like it doesn't seem worth it to us.
Dorothy, thank you for the $10 super chat. Can we see the kitties or at least one of them? Please, please, please.
I mean, Chaplain's usually in my lap. Here, maybe while I ask the next question, I'll see if I can.
All right. Look at that, Dorothy. He's grabbing Chaplain. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you're not crazy, and he can hear me. He has wireless headphones. Don't worry, chat. I know you're not crazy about either of the Stuart Little movies, but if you had to pick from what you remember, which villain do you like more? Smokey the Cat from the first one or Falcon from the second one?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry. I can't find that. That is so rare. They usually come up. Maybe they're like in the litter box or something. That's like when they don't come up, that's usually the reason why. Probably Falcon. James Woods, I mean, it's always going to be a fun villain. And neither of them I thought were that great, but yeah, I mean, James Woods, just his delivery in general is both so comedic and menacing at the same time.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Possible Disney December on Home Improvement. Some of the Tool Time segments make me laugh hard.
I mean, I guess I could. I mean, I did Dinosaurs. Might be an idea. I like that show too. But man, yeah, I would have to. Oh, I'd have to get through every single. I've seen most of them, but I haven't seen all of them. So I'd really have to go and yeah, that'd be an assignment. If you do want to see like just a sum up, really a sum up of literally every episode. Again, Brad Jones did one on his channel. He went through every single episode and gave his thoughts. I was just like, wow, that's really dedication. But I do like the show.
Dorothy, thank you for the $10 super chat. What's a movie do you think everyone should see before they kick the bucket?
Uh, Boy, I don't know. I mean, just because there is a lot of personal preference. I mean, like one of my favorite movies, I mean, people say just practically started movies as we know it today is Citizen Kane. I know a lot of people that love it. I know a lot of people that just say it's super boring and can't get into it at all. So I don't know. I don't know what like that one universal movie is that's like everyone should see this. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of the silent films, like Metropolis or like a
Hmm.
Buster Keaton film, which I know sounds silly, but it's like so much comes from it, and everybody can watch it and get something
Yeah,
like really mind blowing out of it. I don't know.
Metropolis
I'd
is
have
a
to
great choice.
Oh yeah, I'd have to really think about that because that's a tricky question.
Sarah Silvertongue, thank you for the $5 super chat. I was the back credit card girl at UBCon. I go by he, they pronouns now. Knowing you're a Steven Universe fan, what would your gem be?
Oh my gem. I guess I guess well, no, that's right because Garnet's a mix. Um, Maybe Amethyst. That was kind of the purpose. And I'm saying Amethyst, but I'm like, wait, is that yeah, that is also just the name of the gems themselves, right? Because I was like, wait, the character's called Amethyst, but then are all the other Amethysts just called Amethyst? I'm not sure. Um, yeah, but probably either Ruby or Amethyst. Amethyst, I can't say it. Yeah, one of those.
Invader Zim, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part one. I know this is a strange criticism, but hear me out. The characters in Korra act almost too much like normal teenagers.
Uh,
To be continued.
okay.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you have any plans to review Rugrats in Paris?
I might have it on the list. I think the original just did all right. So I'm not like in a hurry to do it. Honestly, I'm actually more excited to check out the Wild Thornberries movie at some point because a
Nice.
lot of people say even if you don't know the show, it's a good movie. So I am a little curious to check that out.
Joey, thank you for the $5 super chat. And what an interesting question. Doug, did you say your favorite animated show of all time was Diarrhea?
Yes. La 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 la. As the theme goes.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, which Ghibli character would you want to hang out with? Chihiro, Kiki, Nausicaa, Pazu from Castle in the Sky, or San from Princess Mononoke?
Is San the main character?
Yeah, the wolf girl.
Oh, that's right. Probably say them all one more time. I'm sorry.
Chihiro, Kiki, Nausicaa, Pazu, or San?
Um Probably Nausicaa, actually. She just strikes me as someone that has a lot of stories. But you could also like sit down and like I don't know, get a drink with or something like that. Just like just tell about your life. Your life sounds fascinating. Tell me about how you like, commanded this and tell me about how you got out of this, situation and everything. Like, yeah, I feel like she'd have like the coolest stories.
Frank, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on Blue Velvet?
I haven't seen it. I know that's just a die-hard essential. Like, if you're a David Lynch fan, you have to see it. And I have it on my queue on Max. It's always looking at me, like, ready to view. And again, I was going to see it during my time off, but I didn't. I still want to see it. I'll get to it at some point.
Trip Corey, thank you for the $5 super chat. Favorite episode of Amphibia season 1, the Just for Kids season?
Uh, Either the last episode, again, the one with I forget her name, but the blonde friend in there. Either of those two episodes, because that's when the real story started to kick in. And they were just good episodes, too.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, I'm curious, what are honest thoughts on Vince Vaughn, and are there any roles of his that you enjoy?
I used to really not like him, but then when he started doing the comedies, I was like, all right, this guy's all right. And even now, sometimes, like, oh, what was it? Freaky? Was that the one they do a parody of?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, I thought he was very, very funny in that. I think like any comedic actor, you have to know how to usually utilize him, and when they do, I think he's actually pretty effective. I don't know how much I get into him as a dramatic actor, but in terms of comedy, I think he actually does a decent job.
The Music World, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, have you ever seen Mufasa yet?
No, not yet. I'll see it either for Nostalgia Critic or Disney December this year.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite episode from the most recent season of Bob's Burgers so far? For me, it's the open mic episode.
Uh, yeah, that was good. Let me think. Trying to think of ones. I kind of like. There's a couple that I was really getting into. That's one of them where I was really getting into it, but then they end a little too early. I wanted a little bit more of a payoff. I thought the one with the kind of the Dear Abby episode where Tina's working for the school paper. That was another one where I was just like, nah, actually that had a little bit more of a payoff. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think the open mic one, but the one with Tina at the paper, that's like a close second.
Sleeping Cat Studios, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite reoccurring joke on NC? Mine is effing bubbles.
Maybe actually. Before it'd be like the really annoying ones like timing or background or something like that. But yeah, actually, every time I was just doing a review today, and I at some point used the word bubbles, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta throw that in there, and I just immediately start snickering because that is just so funny hearing that screamed. So yeah, that might be it for me too.
Used to be one of our alerts here too until YouTube didn't
Oh,
like
yeah.
it. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the MCU, what do you think of Ultron? Do you think he's a good villain?
Uh, it's not bad, but I don't see him as like one of the great baddies. Like one of the great villains. I think if he wasn't played well, I thought Spader played him pretty well. But aside from that, I mean, there's nothing that interesting, especially when you're gonna get Thanos next. He's kind of just he's like Thanos light. The more I think about it, but at the same time, I mean, still kind of Thanos light. Thanos is a great villain, so he's a middle of the road villain.
AOTV Productions, thank you for the $5 super chat. Kevin Nash, who played the Russian with the striped shirt, was stabbed by Thomas Jane accidentally, and Thomas bought him a case of beers to say sorry.
Ooh, a whole case. Somebody said that earlier. Man, that sucked. Can't imagine. That must hurt. Good thing he's a wrestler because I bet he could take it. But I keep assuming it's in his hand. I can't remember if somebody said it was in his hand or not. I just made that assumption for some reason.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you prefer the Superman Returns suit or the classic Christopher Reeve suit?
I don't know. I appreciate the upgrade to the Superman Returns suit. Like that, it felt right. That's kind of the direction it should go. But I don't know. It's hard when you see the Superman symbol. It's like, how can you just not think of the Christopher Reeve one? That's kind of where my mind naturally goes.
Mike, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you plan on reviewing any of the latest Godzilla movies? X-Kong, Shin, -1, etc.?
We've talked about having that maybe be like a theme month. Because there's enough now that we can review. The only thing is, like, I like the Godzilla movies, and King Kong movies. I'm not an expert on it. I know there is a die-hard fan base that's seen like everything Godzilla, Kaiju, all that, Godzilla, King Kong, all that. And I'm always afraid if I talk about, people are going to be like, you're not a true fan. I'm going to feel like you're kind of right. Like, I am a casual fan, but at the same time, I do enjoy them. So, I don't know. If I did, it probably would be like a theme month thing. But yeah, we'll see.
Alex, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hi, Doug. Would the Terrifier franchise ever be something you would ever cover on your channel?
Yeah, we've talked about it. There's a part of me that kind of wanted to see if I could do it like quiet, say like, could I actually mime all the review? And I'm just like, I don't think I can. I was really thinking about it. I was like, well, maybe I could just hold up signs like I did for the Good Sun review, and I'm like, but that would get annoying. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind doing something, but there's also the fact that a big part of the movies is the kills, and you can't show the kills on YouTube. So like that would be really, really tricky. But we've been discussing it. We've been thinking it over.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. I was wondering, what are your overall thoughts on George Miller, and what's your favorite film from him? For me, as much as I love Fury Road, I think Babe in the City is a masterpiece and one of my favorite family films.
I mean, it's gonna sound weird, but yeah, it might be Babe Pig in the City. That sounds so odd, but if you've seen the movie, it is just a bizarrely dark, weird, twisted, but also kind of magical movie. And it just doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like it'd be that kind of flick. But yeah, we just tell yourself, oh, the guy who did the Mad Max movies did this Babe movie, huh? And then you watch it and you go, okay, yeah, that kind of checks out. Yeah, and I do like George Miller. I like he experiments a lot with his movies too. I like he experiments with different styles, but you can still kind of tell it's him. There's still kind of like an epic, large scale to his films, even when they're kind of small scale, like Witches of Eastwick. There's still a large scale to them. So yeah, I really like his stuff.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In the video cassette of Mickey's Christmas Carol, what do you think of Goofy's song being tight is not all right?
Uh, all the songs I remember being good, like they were fine. There weren't any that really jumped out to me. But again, I'm just listening to it on a little record thing. Just one of those little records you play for kids. So I feel like I'm not hearing the best quality, or I'm sure visuals will make it leap out more. So yep, it was fine.
Invader Zim, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part 2. This is pet peeve at best, but considering that Mako and Bolin lost their parents at a young age, lived on the streets with no guidance, accepted gangsters, and Korra being a sort of child soldier isolated, they're a little too well adjusted.
Are they though? I felt like, especially Korra, made like a lot of mistakes. That was one of the things where they wouldn't always learn from them, which would be kind of annoying. And again, maybe I would accept it more if we didn't have a season or a whole series prior that was showing these kids that could make mistakes too, but they did kind of learn from them and they did grow smarter from it. They grow smart pretty quick. Maybe that wouldn't be an issue, but you have that to compare it to. But I don't know. I thought you were going to say more like the relationship thing, like sort of the on again, off again relationships. I don't know. That didn't bother me too much.
Drink Cleaner, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, which is better, Bruce Campbell or a purse full of $100 bills and an expired gift card for the fancy fart store? Also, I hope that managed to remove all the crap from your car.
Thank you. I'll still say Bruce Campbell. Just a conversation with him is worth that times 10.
AOTV, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, I saw the Mufasa movie recently. It was okay, but the best part of was the tribute to James Earl Jones at the beginning. That's all I'll say.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people have won for a movie that everyone has just triumphantly called okay. I'm shocked how many people want me to talk about it. Probably just so I can say the same thing. They probably want to know if I'm going to say it's okay, lean towards good, or okay, lean towards bad, which I'm a little curious about too. But yeah, we'll just have to see. I'll do a review of it this year, either for NC or Disney Summer.
Sleeping Cat Studios, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you have a supernatural TV show, and have you experienced any supernatural experience in the studio, like ghosts or strange noises?
What was the first part?
Do you have a supernatural TV show?
A supernatural TV show? You mean like a show about the supernatural? Is
that you about? Like, I think, yeah.
Like a documentary show, or like
really
like Ghost Hunters? I mean, I'm assuming they're talking about that. They're going to connect it to the studio. No, my wife watches them every once in a while. I just don't get. I take it back. Unsolved Mysteries was kind of fun. Back in the day. I haven't watched, I think they redid it, but back in the day, that was kind of a fun show to watch. And not that I can think of with any of the studios. We haven't had any supernatural stuff happen that I can recall.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the films Old Boy or Funny Games, original or remake? They're not too messed up for me, but I understand if they are a bit much for some people.
I did see a Funny Game. It's one of those where it's like, I get it. I get why this is, like people like watching it and it has like an audience and stuff like that. It's not really for me. But for what it is, and I guess trying to do, it's like, I guess I kind of respect it. It's just not my kind of horror. I've never seen Old Boy. I will try to check that out.
Eerie Spirit, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather and Doug, or hello, Heather and Doug. I missed the hello part.
Hi.
Doug, thank you for spotlighting the film Fearless, starring Jeff Bridges. It's an incredible film that stirred my soul and it left me in tears. Thank you, Doug, for your recommendations. I have a film recommendation for you, Our Man in Heaven, starring Alec Guinness. Or Havana. Havana. I said Our Man in Heaven. It's Our Man in Havana.
Our Man in what is it again? Savannah?
Havana.
Havana. Okay.
Like the city.
Yes, I do not know that movie, so I will try to check it out. And yeah, we're talking about, I don't cry enough at movies. I cry at the ending of that movie almost every time. So there are a few out there.
Truth, Hope, Love, thank you for the $5 super chat. Going to watch Love Hurts? I asked because I think some still think you think of Mr. Kwan as, and I quote, the pile of puke from Goonies.
Love Hurts. No, he's a very charming actor. Even back then, back in the day when he was a kid, he was still a very charming actor. If something ever didn't work, I don't think it was ever his fault. That was a directing thing. But most of the time, he was pretty charming. Yeah, I think I saw the preview for it. It looked like a lot of fun. I think it's great he's having this huge resurgence. Especially because, again, he's legit really, really talented. And I don't know, there's always something really cool when you see a child actor. They're very talented when they were children, but then like they evolve beyond that as well. Or especially when one can like kind of disappear and then come back. Like that's really impressive. Like some can transition, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which is also very impressive. But when they disappear, like people almost forget about them, and then they come back and people are like, that person's really good. Like some people didn't even know that was a kid from Goonies and Indiana Jones and stuff. That's really, really cool.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Which superheroes, Heather, in Marvel or DC, do you think could take on Frieza? I think there's quite a few that have like more overpowered powers, like Superman, like you said, I think could beat Frieza. Even someone like Adam Warlock, I think, might be able to defeat Frieza. If you have godlike powers, you're probably going to defeat Frieza. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Steven Universe, who do you think is more annoying, Lars or Ronaldo?
I can't remind myself because I'm already confusing them because I'm like, wait, aren't they like, I'm just already thinking of them as the same character. I'm like,
Yeah.
No, all right, so there's Lars. I'm everyone. Ronaldo. Let me see. I know Ronaldo's like kind of meant to be annoying. Man, I know because I know a lot of people like this character, but maybe Lars. And I know they get rid of him at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not even saying like objectively he's the worst character. He just rubbed me the wrong way.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. 2 more Nick movies to cover sometime. Fun Size for Nostalgiaween and Monster Trucks. Fair warning, both on lower end of quality, certainly though.
I think I heard of Monster Trucks. That because a lot of people were asking me to review it and stuff, and then just disappeared. I haven't heard anyone bring it up until you did. And Fun Size, I don't know, so I will try to check them out.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you currently own the Nostalgia Critic IP?
Yeah, it's one of those things where if I want to take it, go somewhere else, kind of thing, like I could. It's not something I want to do because I really like where I work. I have a really good time here, and I love the freedom they give me. I love the people I work with. So yeah, no, but if I want to up and leave, start over and stuff like that, yeah, I totally could.
Majestic Demon, thank you for the 500 bits. Which musical soundtrack do you like more, Wicked or Greatest Showman? Wicked is obviously the better movie, but Greatest Showman has the better soundtrack in my opinion.
I guess I remember Wicked a little bit more, so I guess I'll say that. Yeah, I think I gotta see Greatest Showman again. I did listen to some of the songs again, and they are good. They are fun, but I think Wicked. I don't know. Wicked seems like a little bit more its own thing, where Greatest Showman really seems like, I always say it kind of sounds like a Coke commercial. Like bring the world together with a Coke. Like it kind of has that feel to it, but that's also what's fun about it. So yeah, probably Wicked.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. The 14 reviews in my Nick Movies playlist include Batman vs. TMNT. While it wasn't theatrically released, sorry, it still counts since their name's on it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's good. It's a lot of fun.
Loopy Shot, thank you for the $10 super chat. Heather and Doug, if you were sucked into a fictional universe and were forced to tough it out until the end to come back to the real world, what series would you want to be in?
What tough series, like a show or something like that? Would
Yeah,
I
if you
be
were
in? Did
sucked
I
into
come
a
back?
fictional universe, but you're forced to like tough it out until the end of that movie or series. So like you have to make it through to the end.
I mean, I always I don't know if I would survive, but I always like the world of Sin City. I love that super literally black and white noir where the language is violence, but such cartoony violence and just people walking with their coats blowing in the wind on rooftops and stuff like that. Like that's just so cool to me.
AOTV, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, at the 2002 Oscars, Shrek won the first Best Animated Feature award over Monsters Inc. and Jimmy Neutron. Do you agree? If not, who should have won?
Uh I mean, yeah, probably. That's one of those where even though I don't get into the movie, I see the impact it's had and I know the importance of it and the relevance of it. So I would probably say that I still remember when it won because they animated the Monster Inc. monsters just, hearing the news and they just go like they give a little, courtesy of like, yeah, we'll be nice in the plot, but they were clearly angry. I thought that was very, very funny.
John, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, will you do a review of Cobra, not Cobra Kai or G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, simply actor-director Stallone as the cop named Cobretti?
Um, I've never seen the whole thing. I probably should sit down and watch the whole thing. I don't know how well it would do either. Again, that kind of feels like that's more Brad Jones's territory, but I should sit down and at least watch the whole thing.
Truth, Love, Hope, thank you, or Truth, Hope, Love, sorry, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the Sebastian Stan movie, The Apprentice?
No, I've heard interesting things about it though. I like a movie that's going to show him as human because we've seen all the other versions. It's very easy to do the other versions. So I think the idea of showing him in a very human light, but not shying away from the obvious bad stuff, would be interesting. My fear is that it would be too gimmicky. But I guess I'm hearing it's not. So I'm a little curious to check it out.
Sorry, that was my computer, not yours, chat.
Oh.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Plans for an actual Looney Tunes back in action NC someday. I currently have all the Looney Tunes movies NC in the 2003 playlist instead.
I feel like I got it all out in that little compilation of all the Looney Tunes movies. Yeah, I don't know if I have a ton more to say. It is very interesting. There was a guy who did a really good video on it. What's it called? Royal Ocean Film Society, I think is what he's called. And he did a whole video on Looney Tunes back in action and the production of it and everything, and what Joe Dante had to go through to get it made. And it's very, very interesting. I recommend that video.
Liv, thank you for the 500 bits. Out of all the American Disney parks, what's your favorite? Heather, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. I've only been to Disney World, so it's default Disney World.
I was gonna say, I mean, there's only, unless we're talking about Epcot and all that stuff. I guess if we're including those, I actually, yeah, Epcot.
Oh, really?
Anytime when we went to Disney World and we had extra time and we are like, well, we can go to one of these other parks, which way we always went back to Epcot. We loved it there.
Hollywood Studios would be mine then, because I
That's a good one,
love
too.
Tower of Terror and obviously Galaxy's Edge. Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. Have either of you seen the films Intergalactic or Phantom of the Paradise? If you have seen them, what are your thoughts?
I've seen Intergalactic. It's really good. Anyone that hasn't seen it, it's one of those. Wait, is it a film or a show? I thought it was a show. Maybe I'm wrong. But if we're thinking of the same one I'm thinking of, it has like the Spider-Verse style animation. I remember really liking that. And what was the other one? Phantom
of the Paradise.
I know what that is, and people have recommended it to me. I haven't had a chance to see it. Yeah, it's another one I'm really curious to see because it looks out there.
Ruby Moon Rose, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey, Uncle Doug, we know you love Studio Ghibli, but how do you feel about films by other anime directors? I bet you'd love Satoshi Kon's Perfect Blue. The thriller plot is right up your alley.
Oh, Satoshi Kon's a master. Absolutely. There's a movie you like to watch around Christmas time called Tokyo Godfathers, which is very, very good. It's one of those movies where I keep finding stuff in there that's like, whoa, I never picked up on that. Holy smokes. He did a really wonderful show called, oh no, what's it called? Paranoia Agent, which is very, very well done. Very disturbing, but it's very, very well done. And yeah, no, he... I mean, I guess as directors go, he didn't do a ton, but what he did were, I mean, just a ton of masterpieces. I agree. They're just very, very, very good.
We are going to have to pick it up a bit. We are still an hour behind. Simply Seb, thank you for the $10 NZ through Super Chat. Hi, Doug, first time Super Chatter and member for 3 months. Just wanted to say I appreciate your dedication to your fans, streaming on breaks, etc. And I love your first viewings. Greetings from New Zealand.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for being a fan for so long.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. You said John Travolta movie for NC, and my mind went to Broken Arrow rather than Punisher 2004. Plans for a Broken Arrow NC sometime down the road.
You know, I've never seen it. I should, because I know it's John Woo, I know it's John Travolta, so it should be pretty fun.
VJ Jergo, thank you for that 2-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that. I'm surprised in the Punisher review didn't mention the cameo of Thomas James Punisher in Spider-Man 2.
I forgot he was in there. That's right. I totally forgot about that. If I'm trying to remember where he was in there, but I remember somebody brought that up. Yeah, I gotta look that up again. Yeah, that was my bad.
Liv, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you have a bajillion game recs, but I would be so hyped if you played the Mass Effect trilogy. Something tells me you would love Garrus.
I think we have that on the list somewhere, just of all games at some point.
Yeah.
We'll get, yeah.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. It's Ferris Bueller's Day Off, isn't it?
No.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. How come you don't like The Greatest Showman? I remember you saying it's spectacularly bad, but I don't really see why. Can you name an example?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so over the top. Well, one, complete fiction. I mean, you have to know that going in. But even outside that, everything is so corny and in such a fairy tale, over the top way that's so not connected in reality, but its own kind of fairy tale language that's just so goofy and over the top. I mean, just the ending is like in the middle of the show, he's handing the reins to another person to take over the circus while he goes to visit his family at like a theater show or something on an elephant, and then just gets off and like, what, are they gonna park the elephant? Like, what are they gonna do? But that's part of the fun insanity of it. So yeah, no, it's very, very corny, but very, very fun.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather and Big Hero 6, what's your favorite Baymax and Hero moment? I just love the evolution, or just like throughout the handshake and the balalala, how it starts, and then yeah, I love the balalala. Majestic Demon, thank you for the 500 bits. Speaking of the Oscars, I swear to God, if Amelia Perez gets a nomination, it'll go down in history as the worst nomination since Don't Look Up.
I don't think I know who that is. I feel like I've heard that name, but I'm blanking out who that is, so I'd have to look it up.
Headshot, thank you for the $2 super chat. House of Fure, thank you for the $5 super chat. Please review Jaws, but with a wild boar on a mountain. Also, Undercover Brother review.
Yeah, it's the Undercover Brother. That's another one I haven't seen.
AOTV Productions, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, will you review Gothica? It's the movie where Robert Downey Jr. met his future wife Susan, who ultimately saved his life.
Cool, I didn't know that. I just remember hearing very meh things about it, so I never bothered to check it out, but maybe I'll give it a look.
Okay, Amelia Perez is a Netflix musical movie. Thank you, chat. Appreciate you.
Boy, yeah, I don't even know that.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you see the trailer for Novocaine? It looks like it would be NC fodder. So bad it's good.
Boy, I remember the Steve Martin movie Novocaine. I haven't seen this other trailer. No, I gotta look that up.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, Wolverine versus Frieza. We love the Frieza matchups today.
Yes, we do.
I guess Frieza, but I would give Logan a good fighting chance. Trailers, thank you for the $5 super chat. What time do you usually get to work, and what time do you usually get home?
It varies. I mean, a lot of the editing and stuff I do here, so I don't have to travel. But in terms of just going to the studio and everything, usually when we film, it's like I think we've been doing noon, but we might do earlier again because we used to start at like 9 or 10, but then we moved it around. And again, depending on the shoot, they've been shorter because of the fatigue. So I mean, like they could be like 4 or 5 hours, something like that. So yeah, around that time.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Malcolm, you've never seen Tangled? Says the woman who's never seen Silence of the Lambs or The Godfather. I mean, when you're right, you're right. Deshaun, thank you for the $10 super chat. I know you're a Bob's Burgers fan, but have you also watched The Great North? Lauren Bouchard is an executive producer on it, and it has all the same humor as Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, we liked it. It was a little. Both Rob and I agree it's a little too similar to Bob's Burgers in some respect, but we do like it. And there's a few too many characters. I feel like you could get rid of like two of them, and the show would be a little better, a little tighter. But yeah, I liked it. I like the laid back nature of it.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you read Batman 89 and the sequel Echoes, which is a continuation from Returns ignoring Batman Forever and Batman and Robin?
No, but I think I got it for Rob for like Christmas or his birthday or something like that. So I should borrow it at some point.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Entangled, what do you think of Eugene's best friend, Lance?
I gotta look him up real fast. Because I remember the name. I remember. Hold on. Remember more if I see them. Yeah, he was good. He was a decent character.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. What was it about the movie The Bear that made you not love it? Was it the scene of animals in peril? I can imagine it being off-putting to people.
Boy, I don't know. It's one of those movies I wanted to see really bad when I was young. I wasn't allowed to. Then I saw it years later. I remember being more indifferent to it than disliking it. I don't know. I gotta see it again. Yeah, because now it's like totally blank in my head. I remember the trailer more than the movie.
Silver, thank you for the $5 super chat. I was wondering if you were going to do reviews of any more movies before the 80s zeitgeist, like Dirty Harry, French Connection, Chinatown, Jaws, etc.
If it's something I really want to talk about, slash, I think people would tune into, or like a combo of the two. Top of my head, no, but it doesn't mean it won't happen.
Brady, thank you for the $5 super chat. Dayman, fighter of the night, man. It just keeps going until champion of the sun. You're a master of karate and friendship for everyone. Great.
Oh,
Thank you. Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Been dying to see an NC of Maleficent, Mistress of Evil for the longest time. You plan to cover it during Nostalgiaween or in the future someday?
I mean, there's definitely material. I feel like it got all out in a Disney December. But maybe we'll see.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you read X-Men the manga, which is a manga adaptation of X-Men the animated series?
A little bit. I think I saw a little bit of that online, which was kind of cool.
Gamer Wolf, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Critic, if you want any funny films to review, check out It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, Rat Race, and Gumball Rally.
Gumball Rally, I don't know, but the other time, I mean, Mad, 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 Mad World is like a classic, and Rat Race I really like. I might review that at some point, because I think there'd be a lot of fun things to talk about.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Hell of a Boss, what do you think of Stolas' daughter, Octavia?
Good. Yeah, no, she's a good character. There's some stuff in the last episode where it's like, I do get it. I wish it could be fleshed out a little bit more over the season. I thought to kind of squish all that in one episode was a little much, but then again, I guess it's what the next season's probably going to be, what they're building up. So, yeah, no, I think she's a good character.
Cool Cats, thank you for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Nostalgia Critic, I love your YouTube channel and your content. My friend and I love the movie Beetlejuice. Both of the movies. Do you think you could do a review on both of them and get my friend Lee a shout out? Thank you.
I did a what was it called? Freak Show Cinema on the first one, and then I'll probably talk about the second one because there's a lot of interesting stuff you can chat about.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Has Rob seen Wicked? And if so, what do you think of it? Particularly Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, he liked it. He liked it more than he thought he would. And what's funny is that his wife is a bigger Wicked fan, and she thought it was just all right. He actually liked it more, and I think he was not looking forward to seeing it as much. So that was kind of funny. But they both enjoyed it, and he did like Jeff Goldblum, but he was like me. After seeing Chaos, he was hoping for a little bit more of that, but maybe we'll get more of that in the sequel.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Doug, did you prefer Spider-Man comics when you were a kid?
prefer? No, I read them more through my brother. Rob really got into them a lot. I was more of an X-Men and Batman kid.
Silver Camaro, thank you for the $5 super chat. I feel the reason it feels like 80s movies were 20 years ago when in reality they're 40 is because the zeitgeist has been stagnant since 2008. Your thoughts?
Well, everyone's usually off by about 10 years. So if you were to say, 80s, like for me, I still think 30 years in my head. I'm like, no, it's 40 now. Um, I don't know. There is something about the late 90s, early 2000s, I'm not a huge fan of. But I will say, I guess there is an identity there. The 2010s, I'm curious to see what that identity is going to be. That I'm really curious. I don't know if it'll be in media. No, maybe it will. We'll see. 2010s, I'm really curious to see what the identity of that's going to be.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Like I said, I had to repay for everything again with a refund after my digital copy stopped working. Well, at least you got a refund.
Yeah.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. Did you know there's a Romeo and Juliet anime, Heather? I recommend it. There's a few episodes on YouTube and Funimation. I'd have to check it out if it's a more recent one. I don't know if it's based off the manga, but there was a Romeo and Juliet manga that I used to recommend to my students when I was still teaching. That was really well done.
I was gonna say, I bet I could really see a lot of crossover with that and anime. I could definitely see that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Hotel Transylvania, who was your favorite of Dracula's friends? Frank, Wayne, Murray, or Griffin?
Probably the where the Wolfman was that Murray, I think. Yeah, he was pretty fun.
Invader Zim, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, did you see Digimon O2? What did you think of it? And what do you think of the epilogue? I know it's saying a lot, but it might be one of the worst English dubs. I have not. My husband is more of the Digimon fan than I am. I've kind of like casually watched it, so I don't think I have. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I know D. Wallace personally.
Cool. Very cool.
The Mass Nerd, thank you for the $5 super chat. I just rewatched Transformers 2007. It's good, Doug. But outside of that, what human characters do you prefer? Sari, or Sam?
Boy, I'm blanking on. Sorry, wait, is that the original? Like one of the original kids? I don't recall. I'm so sorry. How do you spell the kid's name?
Sari is how they prefer it. They spelt it.
Let's see. I mean, I see this kid from this animated show, but I haven't seen the animated show. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Yeah, so I haven't seen it. I'm so sorry.
The Master Nerd, thank you for the oh, I just read that, sorry. Shouting Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. One of the things that makes the show Gallivant so great, in my opinion, is the comedic timing of both the writing and the actors. Which of the actors' performances were your guys' favorite on that show?
I forget the actor's name, but Lassie from Psych. He's always really, really funny. I love when we lock up people in the dungeon. It makes it feel lived in.
Shouting Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. One of the things that makes the show... Oh, I just read that. Goodness gracious, Heather. Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Toughest scenes for you to watch in Schindler's List. For me, it's the one where all the kids are being driven away.
Brother. I don't know. I mean, it's not like there's a shortage of scenes. Yeah, it's not pleasant, but I mean, probably the scene where they're just like, they just say shoot this young woman who's saying that this thing's gonna topple and stuff. I mean, they just get a good look on her face, but like when she knows, like this is it, this is the end, and it's just like, oh, it's a tough scene. There's a lot of tough scenes in that.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In E.T., what do you think of the scene where the government agent talks to Elliot and tells him about how he always wanted to see an alien? I like how for once the government agent in a movie is a nice guy and not a stereotypical bad guy.
Yeah, even though the rest are kind of stereotypical, but no, I like that too. Again, especially for a kids movie, it shows like, yeah, you don't need to fear all blank. Not all blank are good, all blank are bad. So yeah, I like that scene too. It definitely humanizes them.
Christian, thank you for the $5 super chat. For Heather and Doug, what are your thoughts on Robin Hood, Men in Tights? Great movie.
It's probably not good, but I like it.
Oh, yeah?
I saw it when I was a kid. It really got ripped apart when it came out. And I saw it again as an adult, and I'm like, all right, I see why, but I like this. I like Terry Elways. I like Dave Chappelle. I like Richard Lewis. Um, there's just enough in there to make me say I enjoy this, but it's like I don't know if I can technically say it's a good movie.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug and Heather. Have you seen the 2010 film The Illusionist? It's an animated film directed by Sylvia Comet. It's inspired by a story of the late, great Jacques Tati. If not, I highly recommend it, especially if you like Tati Triplets of Bellevue or emotional animation.
Yeah, I did. It's very good. It's a nice small story. Of course, he does pretty much silent films, doesn't he? But yeah, I really thought it was handled very well.
Shouting Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. Yesterday, during the Disney Revival ranking, one of the people in chat referred to Chicken Little as Disney's version of Garbage Pail Kids. Do you agree?
I wouldn't go that far, but I don't think it's very good.
Ted, thank you for the $10 super chat. New studio looks great. Hope to see more of the cast. Sorry if this has already been asked, but is Heather from Minnesota? I just hear it in her voice such as dough. Sorry. No, I'm Chicago born and raised, and if anything, I feel like I have at times a very thick, like, Chicago accent.
I was gonna say it's definitely gone down since I've known you. But there was a time where I really thought like it was kind of a put on. Oh, she's doing a character. It's like, oh no, that's just her accent.
That's just the way I talk.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. But no, for some reason, when you started doing Doe, you gave her more of a Minnesota accent. I kind of love that.
Right, it's just random.
It's perfect.
It's just an imitation of a Minnesota accent. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. You'll have to watch Home Improvement on Netflix in February.
Oh, I have to do. I will. Okay. I mean, I like it. It's a good show.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Are either of you fans of the 21 Jump Street movies? Personally, I think 22 is more clever and is probably the best end credit sequence in history, but I personally like the first one more because of how it works as a deconstruction, reconstruction parody, and sequel to the original series. Also, it's Lord and Miller.
They're very, very funny. Those are very underrated. I mean, I say underrated like they're great, phenomenal comedy. They're not that, but they're just very, very funny and very well put together.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. If you could rank Satoshi Kon projects from favorite to least, how would you rank them? And they list a couple of specific ones here. Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress, Tokyo Godfathers, Paprika, Paranoia Agent.
Paranoia Agent for me is my personal favorite. Then probably Millennium Actress, Perfect Blue, Tokyo Godfathers, and Paprika. The
You
spice.
Got it. Anthony, thank you for the $7 super chat. Will you ever review an Ed Wood film?
I probably should. I probably should. I don't know which one. I mean, Plan 9, I guess, would be the easiest.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you have any plans to review the third Stuart Little movie? The animation is awful, and I'm surprised Michael J. Fox, Gina Davis, and Hugh Laurie came back to reprise their roles.
Did they really? Wow. I knew there was a third one, like a direct-to-video one. I didn't know they were in it, though. We'll see.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you have any plans to do a Disney December on the MCU Disney Plus shows that you missed, like Loki, Moon Knight, Hawkeye, etc.?
The time might have passed on those. I don't know how many people would tune into them, but I don't know. Maybe I should, because they're interesting to talk about.
Adriana, thank you for the $10 super chat. I don't have a question this time, but I just want to express my gratitude for your acknowledgement.
Oh, thank you so much. So kind of you. Thank you.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. For Nostalgia, a Halloween commercial special / countdown or something would probably be a pretty big hit for when the time came.
People brought it up before. I think it's gonna sound weird. I think I need more Halloween commercials because there's definitely some I like, but in terms of like a lot of material. Also, it is very close to when we do our usual commercial special, which would be a little close. So I don't know, might be an idea there.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. You want a supernatural TV show? You should watch one about a haunting. It's Ghost Stories.
Oh, my wife really likes that show. It's not for me, but I have seen a little bit of it.
Silver Camaro, thank you for the $5 super chat. Speaking of Bruce Campbell, I highly, highly recommend Maniac Cop 1 and 2 for review. Those movies are way better than they have any right to be.
I don't even think I've heard of them. I'll try to check them out.
Liv, thank you for the 500 bits. With Michael Salvatore being a family friend of yours, have you ever considered playing the original Halo Combat Evolved? As a diehard fan since it came out, trust me when I say it has one of the best single-player campaigns of all time.
I've always wanted to do one of the Halo games, just to say I finally played one, because my only knowledge of it, aside from him, is Red versus Blue, which I really enjoyed. It would be nice to actually play a game and actually know the references, what this is all connected to.
Haunted Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. The director for The Punisher was influenced by westerns for the score and action. Bumpo and Harry Heck are straight from the comics. The sequel is campier and more violent. Recommend.
Yeah, I actually liked the first Punisher. Okay, so I'm a little curious to check. I actually have heard that the second one is better.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Plans for other Muppet NC reviews like Muppet Treasure Island, since I'm sure they each would give you plenty to talk about, probably.
Maybe Treasure Island, because I feel like that one has almost bizarre. I say bizarrely, but Tim Curry is very entertaining. So maybe I'll do that one at some point.
Treg, thank you for the 500 bits. Which Steven Universe show do you prefer, original or future? I think future is more up my alley, but I can see why many people prefer the original series.
That's really rough. I don't know. I mean, the original is more influential, but I'm kind of with you. Future's a little bit more up my alley for what I like in a show, and it was just so ballsy to do just an entire season that's just an epilogue. It's a very low key epilogue. I thought that was a very mature choice.
Adrienne, thank you for the $5 super chat. No message, just the super chat.
Thank you.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. Question for both of you. What are some of your favorite examples of LGBT representation in media?
Well, we were talking about Steven Universe. That's definitely up there. Let me see.
I feel like in TV shows, it's generally handled a little bit better than movies because you're able to follow the character as like an actual character versus a caricature of their
Yeah.
sexuality that they're representing. So even things like Sex Education has some interesting.
Oh, the
ideas.
show?
Yeah, the
Sex
the
Education?
show. Mhm.
It's one of those I gotta kind of look them up and see, like, okay, like what are some characters here? Schitt's Creek. David is very,
the
very funny.
wine, the wine analogy.
Yeah, no, he's one of my favorite because I feel like there's a movie I saw called Bros. I just could not stand the main character at all, and it's one of those where I'm just like, I always look at that character, David from Schitt's Creek, and I'm just like, no, you can do this kind of character, very smart, very funny, and really care about the character too, because you really do. So yeah, that's definitely one that I think of a lot when I think of like, yeah, that's. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can do those characters, but that's like the one where I'm just like, yeah, that's because I think people get the idea, like you can make the character a little too. I don't know if the terminology is flamboyant. I don't know how you put it. Like it would make the character unlikable, and I don't think that's true. There's a lot of very clever ways you can do that kind of character. I think that's the iconic character you look to do it right, because he's very selfish, very funny, but you really, really do care about him too, and you sympathize with him.
Sleeping Cat Studios, thank you for the 500 bits. I've been a fan from the original name with that guy with the glasses. Which character has been fun to write? Mine is Chester Bum and Super Fangirl. So what's your favorite characters to write?
Well, actually, it's Hyperfinger and Chester, but no. Honestly, yeah, either Chester or Devil Boner are really, really fun. Honestly, any of the romances. I love writing Chester and Doe. I love writing Devil Boner and Hyper Fangirl. Even the Chart guys, I have got a romance going with them. We bizarrely have very healthy romantic relationships, it feels like, for the characters. And I don't know how that happened.
Adrienne, thank you for the $5 super chat. Can you please review Dante's Peak?
I remember being really boring. I didn't get much out of it. So, yeah, I don't think I'm the one to do it.
Funny Coconut, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hi, Doug. Do you think 2D animation will ever make a comeback soon? Is it just the demand? What are your thoughts? Also, would you ever consider voice acting for animation?
I've done one or two little voices. It's fun, but it's not something I don't think it's what I'm trained for. But I think it will make a comeback because I don't know. To do CG animation, you have to really learn a lot. Where I feel like anyone can kind of draw, just give them a pencil, they can draw something. I think there's always going to be a connection to that, taking whatever you see around you and reducing it down to the simplest, element there is, a dot stretched out into a line. I mean, that's just amazing to me. And I think it's amazing to a lot of other people. So I think because we are seeing it a lot in web animation, and they see the value in it, that it's never going to fully go away, and it probably will make a resurgence at some point, like a big resurgence. But I don't know when, because as Heather pointed out yesterday, the cost, it's much more expensive to do hand-drawn. sadly. But maybe it'll get to a point where somehow they, you know, the cost and the art form will be even. Or maybe they'll just be like, no, screw it. Let's just throw the extra money in because it just looks so good.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Since you did the Pokemon and Digimon movies, you should at least cover the 2004 Yu-Gi-Oh movie somehow to complete the set.
Again, man, animes get hit pretty heavy with copyright claims from Japan, so probably not. But I'll try to look into it.
Shouting Joker, thank you for the 500 bits. I watched your recent video listing the 2024 movies that you watched and was impressed to see the substance on there. I watched it with my parents, and not only was it traumatizing, but I'm never going to be able to eat certain foods again.
Yeah, I had a pretty good time with it.
Mr. Evolution, thank you for the $5 super chat. Good evening, Doug. What's your thoughts on the SpongeBob SquarePants series? To me, it's my childhood.
It's definitely not my childhood. I'm a little too old for it, but I remember watching a little bit of it and enjoying it. I never quite obsessed over it, but it was cool because, I mean, I bragged about all the time that they put a character wearing the NC outfit in there. And so many people were saying, like, to them, that's the equivalent of me seeing a character in The Simpsons. Like, this is what defined a lot of their humor. So that was really cool to be a part of something that, like, defined a lot of people's comedy growing up. So that was really, really cool.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather in Big Hero 6, what do you think of the scene where Baymax shows Hero videos of Tadashi? I am really bad at remembering very, very specific things. It sounds like it'd be a nice, cute, heartwarming moment. I assume that if he was showing him videos of Tadashi. But I am the worst about remembering very specific things. So, sorry. Man Toast, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. Been a fan since your AVGN versus days. Nerd! I have one question. How do you feel through these Q&A streams? It seems so intense, answering so many questions and dealing with so much information at once. Thank you and Heather and everyone involved for all the time and all of your efforts.
Well, I never thought about it. I guess it is nerve-wracking. Oh my god! I mean, there's a lot of people watching me right now. Holy smoke! No, it's at first I think there definitely was a. Well, I think because we've done Q&As at panels too, so there already was kind of like a, you want to get as many people in there as possible, so we're used to it. And I mean, just have a bunch of people praise your ego and answer these questions from a person who already likes to ramble and talk. So no, it'd be more difficult if I didn't have so many lovely fans, and it is very, very nice talking with y'all, and it's always very laid back, and I really do legit enjoy it.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, I was the one who used to get overwhelmed more easily by this whole process.
Well, you got the hard part, man. You got to read all that stuff
and everything behind the scenes as well. So, but we love to do it for all of you. Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug, since you did the movie as well as the other 90s series, would you do a Disney December on the show Recess?
Yeah, it's on the list. I can't remember if I have it for this year or next year. I think it's next year. But I do want to see it because that's another one I've heard a lot of people say is a really good show and like was a big part of their childhood. So yeah, I do want to check that out.
Future movie actor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Plans to cover the rest of the Star Trek movies for NC. You got 8 left, including the upcoming Star Trek Section 31 on Friday, my mom's birthday.
Wait, now the big screen, they're talking about Paramount Plus or something, right?
It must be.
But we've talked about it, like, because now that I'm doing like the good, I'm doing good movies now. It's like, yeah, I could do the other Star Trek movies, so it's a possibility.
Mustard Man, thank you for the 500 bits. Inspired by the recent re-evaluation regarding David Lynch's Dune, what is the ultimate mulligan you'd give a director for a subpar film? I think Tim Burton should be allowed to make the dark and twisted Alice in Wonderland he was born to do.
I mean, it would be nice to see what his original Dune was going to be, because I can't, and I get people that like watching that movie. I can't stand it. It's so boring. It is so boring. I'm a big Lynch fan. But yeah, that's one where I'm just like, I can't get into this. So I'm down with you. Actually, I would kind of like to see what his original version was going to be.
Red Lion, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, did you ever see a show called Pirates of Dark Water? It starred talent like Jodie Benson, someone who lives pretty close to me.
Yeah, I remember liking it. I haven't seen it since it came out, but I just remember, again, it was one of those shows where it's like, oh, that's kind of like the dark show, isn't it? Like there's always black backgrounds, like the water is usually black and everything. The pirates, like, one had like a missing eye and a scar and everything, and it was one of those where it's like, yeah, this kind of badass show. I remember. But if you were to ask me what's the plot of it, I couldn't tell you. But I do remember it being pretty cool.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the film Rock of Ages? If not, it's good, but a lot of the songs are fun. Sorry, it's not good. There it is. But a lot of the songs are fun, and Tom Cruise's performance stands out. Plus, it's the only movie that features a love duet between Alec Baldwin and Russell Brand.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard it's not that great. Like, it's not awful, but it doesn't work. But there's some good stuff in it. Yeah, no, I haven't checked it out. I probably should because I know Zeta Jones is in it. So at some point, I'll probably give it a look.
Sleeping Cat Studio, thank you for the 610 bits. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Ew.
No message. Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you have any plans to do another bumper to bumper?
Maybe someday, but yeah, I really thought I had at least 2 or 3 more, but I don't know, something phased out. I just say, like I said at the end, like until I ADD to something else, it's like that's pretty much what's happening. I'm filming a new segment next week for a new type of segment on the NC. So yeah, we'll see if that goes anywhere, if that phases out.
Hero, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on the Toxic Avenger remake finally hitting theaters this year uncensored? Also, hi, Heather.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounds cool. Is that like trauma, or is that a different thing? Am I confusing it for a different toxic superhero? That sounds weird, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Either way, it sounds fun, whether it is or isn't.
Sudlush, thank you for the $2 super chat. Sleeping Cat Studios, thank you for the 500 bits. Do you have any favorite foreign live action movie? RRR.
RRR is pretty great. But like maybe The Seventh Seal. That's a pretty great movie. I mean, there's a lot of great foreign films out there. Amelie is great. City of Lost Children is really cool. I mean, yeah, there's a ton, but probably favorite, probably Seventh Seal.
Also, Chad is confirming Toxic Avenger is Trauma.
Is Trauma. Okay, yeah, I'm curious how they're going to do a remake. I'm really, really curious about that.
Gamer Wolf, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Heather and Critic, what's the biggest movie or movie scene you were Mandela affected into believing happened?
Huh. I still don't know. I really remember a scene in Bad Santa, one of the versions, where he's trying to get him down to, he says he wants half, and he's like 60-40, half, and he's like 59, whatever, 40, all that stuff. And he keeps going down until he finally gets to 49-51. And I swear I remember Bernie Mac just going, half. And because I remember laughing so hard at that, like, you think he's just gonna say, all right, I'll give you the percent. And he still says half. Like, it was one of the most badass, funny things. But I've seen the original, I have seen the director's cut, and I just don't see that scene in there. Not that way, anyway. So I'm just like, oh, man, I swear I saw this version somewhere.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather, I know you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, so I was wondering, have you seen the spinoff GX? I have not. No, sorry. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the walkie-talkie cut of ET where they did the Star Wars thing and replaced the guns with walkie-talkies?
What do you think? I think of it stupid. As Lewis Black said, they're probably saying into their walkie-talkies, where the hell are our guns?
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In The Founder, what do you think of the scene where Michael Keaton was talking to one of the McDonald's brothers, telling him that someone with that name would never be pushed around?
I gotta watch that again. So I remember that movie. I don't remember that specific scene. I think I gotta watch it again. I do like that movie, though.
Party Crasher, thank you for the 500 bits. This Punisher could have been really good, but reading about the behind the scenes, this movie was severely hindered by the studio. Jonathan Hensley wanted at least 60 million, but they gave him only 30 and only 15 for filming. Thomas Jane, being a fan, repeatedly begged them to film in New York, but John Travolta had more pull and wanted to be able to fly to the set, so Florida it was. Plus, the Russian is literally ripped out of the comic.
Weirdly, shooting in Florida didn't bother me because I made it a little bit more unique. But it does look like a film that had a lot of studio issues with it. I was kind of shocked I liked it as much as I did, even though it's a very just okay movie. But compared to other movies that came out around that time, it's like I'll take okay.
Invader Zim, thank you for the 500 bits. The Scooby Doo movie was toned down because the Josie and the Pussycats movie bombed. And yes, that was a movie. Look it up.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of people have asked me to review that. I'll probably get to that at some point. I haven't seen it. I actually heard it's okay.
Matt, thank you for the $5 super chat. You know what would be a good series to watch vlog style? Firefly. Has anyone told you you should watch Firefly? Because you should watch Firefly.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I haven't seen it. And everyone's
It's so
always
short,
yeah.
dog.
And everyone says it's so short. You can get through it.
I
It'd be
have it
fine.
on DVD. I'll give it to you. Well, I'll let
I
you
think
borrow
I might too. I might too. Actually, that's what's so funny. Yeah, I should check it out because I saw the movie. That's what's so funny. And of course, like anyone that hasn't seen the show, they're just like, I mean, this is okay. I think I'm following it, but it's like, no, you gotta know the show. You gotta know in order to follow it.
Leprechaun Farmer, thank you for the $20 super chat. Appreciate that. In your
Ooh.
Disney December for the Chippendale movie, you thought that Tigra was a knockoff of Chitara, but she's actually a Marvel hero who notably appeared in the first Avengers show where her design in the film was taken from.
I feel like she was originally supposed to be Chitara. I could be wrong. Maybe I am. But why? I mean, nobody knows that. I mean, you do, clearly. I mean, good for you. I don't know how commonly known that character is, though. But that would be weird that that's the one character they couldn't get Chitara. That would be a little weird the more I think about it. So maybe you're onto something.
Mitchell, thank you for the $2 super chat. Dave, thank you for the $5 super chat. Pretend you're the Academy. I know nobody wants to pretend to be a hack, but bear with me. What wins Best Picture of 2024?
I don't know if I've seen enough. Man, I really have to look them over. Yeah, because there's ones that I know I haven't seen, but a lot of people are like, "Oh, you gotta like." I didn't see Nosferatu yet. I didn't see like Challengers or Unstoppable or anything. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to. I'd have to really, really look them over. I'd have to really see a list of what I think would be the best.
The Dark Collector, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever seen seen Down Periscope with Kelsey Grammer, Lauren Holly, and Rob Snyder?
Yeah, it was okay. I don't think it was like a great comedy or anything, but I mean, especially again for the time period that came out, they had a lot of loser movies, and I thought that one was surprisingly okay.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Heather and Vox Machina, which romance do you like more, Vex and Percy or Vax and Keyleth? I'm gonna go with Vax and Keyleth because they're so cute. She's just so shy and they're so cute. Noob Master, thank you for the $5 super chat. Are you aware of the YouTube poop scene? Have you seen any of the YouTube poops made of you?
At first, I thought it was like, like on YouTube, it's the poop scene. I'm like, what is the poop scene? Oh, yeah, YouTube poops. Yeah, no, they made a ton of me, and a lot of them are very, very funny. Yeah, I used to, whenever I saw it going, I used to post them on my socials.
Gamer Wolf, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Critic, I have an episode for you for Dark Toons. This is part 1 of 2. Ash, thank you for the $5 super chat. Doug just wanted to say thank you for keeping me and my brothers entertained for over 10 years. We still quote you to this day.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for watching for so long.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Which scene in Space Jam is your favorite?
I don't know. Probably just any of the Bill Murray scenes. Those are pretty fun.
Gamer Wolf, thank you for the $5 super chat. It's the Family Guy episode where Chris and Meg knock Stewie down the steps, and the rest of the episode is them and Peter trying to cover up his injuries.
Wow. Yeah, but I try to have ones that are a little bit more geared towards like family friendly stuff so I can talk about, wow, it's crazy how dark this is. But also I haven't done one in years.
Infinite Sky, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your favorite Don Bluth film?
Secret and Dim, definitely.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of The Next Generation when Geordi was abducted by Romulans?
I kind of remember that. I don't have too strong memory about it, so I don't think I can really comment much.
Elto the Sting. Thank you for the $8 super chat. Just watched the Punisher review. As someone who has been playing Marvel Rivals, I forgot that he had several R-rated outings before.
Yeah, the Dolph Lundgren one might even be R-rated. I'm not sure.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And B Movie, what do you think of Matthew Broderick as the main character's best friend?
Actually, I thought he was fine. I always want to hate him and stuff, but he was fine for what was quote unquote needed, even though nothing in that movie is needed.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Family Guy when Peter falls down the stairs?
uh, just in general, I guess it gets a laugh.
I guess it gets a laugh. Okay, 1 minute to spare.
Woo!
We did it. Anyway, goodness gracious. I don't know if we even have time for other chat questions. I'm sorry, guys. It's like 8 o'clock almost right now, right?
They're like, we made it.
I did. I'm sorry. It's because you just made me do a crazy laugh while we were filming today.
Actually, yeah, I was gonna say it's like the one you did earlier today. Yeah.
Yeah. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. When he keeps falling down repeatedly.
I think I remember that. Again, it's been on for years, so again, I think I remember getting a laugh.
Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. I'm sorry that we weren't able to get to any chat questions today.
Sorry.
I always hate when we can't get to the regular
Yeah.
chat questions. We really appreciate all of you being here, though. We could not do this without you. Thank you. Twitch and YouTube, please keep in mind that Doug's gonna be back on Friday to play some more Arkham Knight. He really enjoyed the first time. I mean, that was to be expected, though, considering that you like the other games.
Yeah, like the other two games, yeah.
So yeah, come on back for that. On the Twitch side of things, Malcolm will be here tomorrow. I'm also playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on Mondays. So come, stop by, say hello. We appreciate you always being here. Also on the Twitch side of things, we're gonna go raid Miss Tamara Chambers over on her Twitch channel. Have a wonderful night, everyone, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye!